All right, officer, if you would, just say and spell your first and last name for me, and give me your title for the record.
Absolutely. My name is Alexander Cuevas. That's spelled Alexandercuevas. I'm the Public Information Officer with the North Las Vegas Police Department.
All right, I think first off, Officer Cuevas, this is kind of an unusual incident, but was everybody okay? How's the officer doing?
So the officer was actually released from the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries, especially after the serious injury crash that happened on Las Vegas Boulevard and Lake Mead.
Now, this was near an intersection. Was the moose in a marked crosswalk?
The moose was not in a... The moose was actually not in a marked crosswalk. From witness accounts, it appeared that the moose was trotting from east sidewalk to the south sidewalk of Las Vegas Boulevard.
As far as the investigation goes, is there any video that would be available? Was the officer's body camera going, or do you have dash cams? Is there something we can try to get a hold of?
So currently, North Las Vegas Police Department does not have dash cams, but we do have body-worn camera. You can actually reach that via bwc@cityofnorthlasvegas.com and fill out the form to request proper body cam footage if that officer was wearing body cam and activated their body cam. As for the officers on scene, they should have body cam footage available.
And then just last question from me, sir, as far as the officer himself, what's his status, and are you able to identify him for us?
So as for status, he is doing a lot better now. He did receive serious injury from shattered glass due to hitting the moose. And as for that, since he has been released from the hospital, he's doing a lot better. But as for name, we will identify him at a later time.
Okay.
That's good. All right, we're rolling.
All right, Detective, if you would, just say and spell your first and last name for me, and let me have your formal title.
First name is Vincent, last name is Booker, spelled Vincent, last name Booker. I'm a sergeant with the North Las Vegas Police Department.
All right, Sergeant, well, just, talk to me a little bit about this. This one seems pretty complicated, so walk me through just the order of events of what happened.
Well, as we have, we received a phone call into dispatch at about 11:11 a.m. as it relates to a homicide investigation that occurred in the intersection of Cheyenne and Losi Avenue. Early reports indicate that a white Toyota pickup truck was traveling westbound in the number 3 travel lane, and as it entered into the intersection, a pedestrian who was on the north side of Cheyenne stepped out into the roadway. A brief argument ensued, and at that point the driver of the Toyota pickup then fired shots at the pedestrian and left the scene at a high rate of speed. The pedestrian was struck by gunfire. Medical personnel arrived on scene, attempted medical aid, and a short time later pronounced the pedestrian deceased at the time.
Do you have any information on the driver of that Toyota at this time? Do you have any leads?
We do not have any leads. We do have witnesses that are on scene that are cooperating with the investigation. We are at the early stages of this investigation. The only lead that we have is the vehicle description and the approximate age of the driver.
At this point, Sergeant, is it too early to rule out what the motive might be? I mean, is this pretty straightforward for you that this is a road rage incident, or have detectives determined that?
Haven't determined at this time. Early stages of the investigation. If we get any additional information, we will certainly pass that on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're rolling.
All right, if you would, sir, just first and last name and spell it for me, and let me have your title.
Of course, Nico Reale, spelled Nicoreale. I'm a firefighter, paramedic, and acting PIO for the North Las Vegas Fire Department.
All right, Nico, well, just tell me a little bit about, what did your crew see when they rolled up on the scene?
So initially, our dispatch received multiple calls for a working structure fire at a 2-story home. Initially, our first and arriving company let everyone know that was incoming, that there was a fire showing from the 2nd floor. So they initiated an aggressive fire attack and used our truck to cut a hole in the roof to let all the superheated gas out, and they knocked down the fire within 20 minutes.
How about concerns about people inside? Were you able to get in there and search for folks very quickly?
Correct. So there was nobody actually inside. Our crews did do a search, and nobody was found. The residents were outside. There was 4 residents, 2 adults and 2 children that have been displaced from this fire. The house has been determined uninhabitable due to our fire investigators, so Red Cross has been contacted for assistance to them.
Any idea what could have started the blaze?
Right now, it's undetermined, but our fire investigators are in there, and once we have the determination of that, we will let everyone know.
Anything else you want to add about this?
No, sir.
Good way to handle that house and start the fire.
Okay.
All right, if you would, just first and last name, spell it for me, and let me have your title, please.
Sure. It's Jacob Levesque, Jacob Levesque. I'm the PIO, Public Information Officer for the North Las Vegas Fire Department.
All right, well, just tell me first a little bit about, as the fire crews arrived on the scene, what were they up against?
Well, as soon as fire crews arrived on scene, they noticed a fire coming outside the second-story bedroom window. The residents were already outside, all 4 of them. They notified the fire crews as soon as we arrived on scene that they were all out and all pets were accounted for as well. We asked if there's any possibility of any other victims or people in the home. They said no. Our crews met with the city of Las Vegas Fire Rescue, and they did a joint attack. We were able to find the seat of the fire and put the fire out in approximately 7 minutes. A lot faster than the 20 that happened last week.
So, this was a pretty damaging fire. Does that tell investigators anything about, it seems like it didn't take long for you to get there. So does that tell you anything or tell investigators anything about the fire?
Not at this time. We were able to put the fire out so quickly that the fire investigators are actually still on scene right now doing the investigation. And as soon as we get some info on what the probable cause was, we'll make sure we can get that information out to you.
Any idea of how much damage was done?
At this time, we do not know. The house is uninhabitable, and American Red Cross is on scene caring for the family as we speak.
Cool. Good. All right, good. We got the white. If you would, just say and spell your name for me, and let me have your title.
Gregory Kohler, Gregory Koehler, firefighter, paramedic, acting PIO for North Las Vegas Fire Department.
All right, well, it seems like, this one got out of control pretty quickly. Tell me a little bit about what the firefighters saw when they got there.
Well, this morning, approximately 3:37 in the morning, dispatch received a call for a single-family 2-story dwelling that was on fire. Our firemen arrived. There was heavy smoke and flame showing from the front of the building. We were able to enter the building, get the fire out in approximately 15 to 20 minutes. There were 4 residents. All were evacuated prior to our arrival. We do have 1 with minor smoke inhalation, no transport necessary. American Red Cross is on scene, providing care and a place for them to stay the next few nights while the house is checked over by the building inspectors, and the investigation is ongoing. At this point, that is all the information that I have.
So what are the investigators now? What would they be doing inside the house? What are they looking for?
They're looking for where it may have started. There's always possibility of a pot on the stove, which is very common. Electrical fires are very common here in Las Vegas. So they'll be looking at those along with possible smoking. We don't know if anyone in the house was a smoker. So from this point, the investigation will go on and more information will come out in the future.
Any preliminary just guesses at how much damage has been done?
No, I can't answer that for you right now. When the investigation is complete, they'll have much more detailed information for you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. No.
All right, we're rolling.
All right. If I would, just first and last name and spell it for me.
My name is Jeff Wall. That's Jeffwall. I'm a sergeant with the North Las Vegas Police Department.
All right, Sergeant. Well, obviously, another fatal crash here in the valley. What happened? Auto pedestrian kind of crash. What did officers come across?
Well, when officers arrived, they found 1 bicyclist in the travel lane, number 1 Simmons, just north of Craig. He was deceased on scene. He was not transported. Preliminary investigation shows that there was a vehicle, a Chevrolet SUV, traveling northbound in the number 1 travel lane when it struck this bicyclist. Driver remained on scene, was cooperative with the investigation. There's just those 2 involved, and only 1 person was injured.
Any signs of impairment or any other factors?
At this point, it's unknown as far as toxicology on the bicyclist. The driver, we're not seeing any signs of impairment, fully cooperative with the investigation. So we've got the traffic division out now completing the investigation.
Any evidence of speeding or anything like that? Do you have witnesses that could kind of shed some light on what happened?
A little early in the investigation to say for certain, but at this point, speed does not appear to be a factor.
Well, what happens now? Moving forward, you said the fatality team is out here. So what's going to happen? How long is the road going to be closed?
I would say for at least another couple of hours. There's a lot of marks and so forth on the roadway that they like to preserve as much as they can, as well as they're following up with the driver, getting him down for potentially some blood draws or toxicology. And then obviously the coroners needs to come out here to attend to the bicyclists.
And you said no citations or anything this time?
At this time, no.
All right.
Good deal.
Last name and spell it for me, and give me your title, please.
I'm Victor Mancia, spelled Victor. Last name M as in Mary, A, N as in Nancy, Cilla. I work for the City of North Las Vegas Fire Department. I'm the PIO.
All right. Well, Victor, just tell me a little bit about what happened. What was the call that came in?
So we got a call for a structure fire. It was a residence about 8 o'clock in the morning at the 800 block of Goldfield. We got a call, multiple callers. We showed up. Engine 51 was first on scene. There was smoke showing from the building, no flame activity, initiated fire attack. Once they entered on scene, they realized it was a single room and contents, so they discontinued all the other resources. They were able to get it knocked down pretty quickly. There was an off-duty police officer that was inside the house. We thought maybe he was trapped. Afterwards, he gave us some more information that led to the understanding of why he wasn't able to make it out of the residence. It was a cooking fire.
As far as what the officer was cooking, were you able to tell me that, just what would have gotten out of control and caused?
Yeah, so this happens quite a bit. People will be using large batches of oil to deep fry stuff and cook with, and he was entering a donut making competition. He took first place 2 years ago, and unfortunately during that last competition in preparation for it, he had a home fire as well. Similar circumstances. He was really embarrassed last time, so he wanted to take care of the fire himself. So he said that he wanted to go grab the hose like his heroes do and put out the fire. He didn't realize that when you put water on hot oil, it ends up igniting and exploding and spreading the fire even more. So once we got him outside of the building, at first he was really red. We thought maybe he'd received some flash burns. After a few minutes, we realized that it was just due to embarrassment. He was a little bit mortified, but he learned his lesson. He said next time we'll let the real heroes do it.
Any estimates for damage at this point?
No, investigations are still underway. We still have our investigators inside, just to reconfirm what our findings are, just to make sure that we're not jumping the gun. So we're just going to wait for their findings before we give out any of that information.
Did you guys arrive in time to salvage the donuts?
We did. There was already a couple batches already made up, so he was happy that we showed up. We gave him a plastic fire helmet, junior firefighter sticker. So he wanted to repay us, so he gave us some donuts as well.
Award winning?
They were pretty good, yeah. So hopefully he gets first place again.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys.